Hey guys, and welcome to another commentary. Yeah, another one. I feel like I'm gonna be pumping out a lot of these until school gets out, because right now, school and everything else in my life, I really just don't have time to throw in a whole lot of variety on my channel. And, for me, that isn't such a bad thing because I really enjoy talking and, um, discussing things and, really, taking some time to get in deep to topics. And I hope you guys don't mind. I mean, that's kind of the audience I'm trying to attract with my channel. So, I mean, if you don't like that, I'm not forcing you to watch this video. Go ahead, the door's over there. But if you want to stay, that's great with me. So, by all means, just listen and hear me out. Maybe even if you're a little skeptical, just hear me out, and maybe I'll maybe I'll surprise you, and maybe I won't. So, yeah. And in this video, I wanted to talk about stats and the overall opinion, the general consensus and what everybody thinks of stats. And, I feel like that stats, think about a stat. So, people like to, judge a whole player's performance off their kill-to-death ratio or their win-loss ratio. And if you think about it, that statistic is only a measure of one one aspect of their game. And so there are so many, there's so many different factors that play into a person's overall performance. And so you can't really look at a very narrow, you can't narrow yourself to something like a kill to death ratio and then just say, that's it, that, period. This person sucks, this person's good. That's just not fair and actually rather brutal. And I think that I've fallen into this a bit myself as well. And it's part of the reason why I just don't enjoy games anymore, is because I would see, at the end of a match of Call of Duty, I'd see that my kill to death ratio was 1.5, and then I'd be in, the lower, on the lower part of the scoreboard, and I'd look up there and there would be these, I hate the word the term tryhards, but, I kind of use it. It's kind of something I hate. But I look up at these tryhards and they got 3 to 5 kills, per death, and I'm just like, wow, I must really suck at this game. But in reality, you don't, because um, like I said, it's such a narrow field of what your entire performance is. And so there's that, and then people like to look down at you and say, okay, so this person sucks, how, you should quit the game, you should uninstall, just get out of here. And they like to put down average players, and I feel like for me, some people listen to it, some people don't. I don't know why I tend to listen to it, and so it gets really difficult for me to be like, okay, I'm gonna keep playing this game because, maybe I do suck. And so that really raises the question, how do you measure how good you play? And because how good you perform in a game is such a huge field, and there are just so many factors, I don't think it's really possible to put an exact number on that or an exact graph on that. What I do think, though, is the best way to know, I mean, if you're getting better or how good you are, is just to compare yourself to, well, guess what, yourself, because I feel like that's really the only fair way of looking at this and saying, this person's good, this person's not. Because I mean, if there's a person who has bought the game and they're, they they had this certain, they were doing pretty well at the beginning, and then later on they were getting worse, I guess you could say you're bad at the game. But that's in relation to you, not somebody else. And so if you're getting better, you're better than you were when you started, obviously. But it really never should be, okay, I am bad at this game because my friend is really good. That just sounds so ridiculous, and that is so wrong. And that is just not how it should be done, because I'm looking at it that way. I mean, it's good to look up at people and say, okay, I aspire to be like my friend, and I aspire to be as good as them at the game. But in the end, you really shouldn't be getting down on yourself when you're not, because you aren't your friend, you're you. And I guess so if you find yourself in a position like me where you're not enjoying games anymore and you just feel like you suck, you should stop thinking that happiness is a measure of how much better you are than someone else. Like that thinking, if I'm my friend and I'm, above average, then, I'll finally be happy. That is just a pit. It's not, there's always going to be someone better than you. And I really don't think that that mindset is ever going to bring you true happiness and true enjoyment of that game. I feel like, and I know that true enjoyment comes when you start improving um, in relation to yourself. You start improving since you started playing the game. And so that really is the true measure of happiness, I believe. And then even then, what if you're not getting better at a game and you're just kind of staying, you've kind of flatlined, you kind of hit a plateau. And that's okay too. I don't feel like, I mean, it all depends on who you are and what you find happiness in. I find happiness in knowing I'm improving, but then you could also find happiness in just playing the game and enjoying what you're doing rather than pushing. I mean, sometimes you get so caught up in trying to be better that what you're doing just you just zone out of the actual act of having fun, and you focus on the stats and how much better you are in relation to when you start. It just and it snowballs, and then you get unhappy, and you actually start playing worse than you would have if you really just um, didn't focus on it so much and took some time just to have fun. I mean, you can play better when you have fun than you do if you focus, solely on stats and focus solely on getting better to the point where it makes you miserable and you're miserable. Like I said, I mean, and when you're miserable, I mean, you're not having fun and it's just a mess. And so, yeah, don't freaking do it. Just don't, because it's not going to be worth it in the long run. And trust me, if you take a few steps back and shift your focus onto what you started when you were a little kid, when you bought a video game, or when you were a kid and you bought a video game, it wasn't about stats. It was all about just in pure enjoyment. And really go back to your roots and find, what you started playing video games for. I mean, it's as simple as that. And I mean, I assure you, if you do, you will, your happiness will increase by a great deal. And so that's really all I wanted to say in this video. I hope I didn't ramble too long. It's just kind of it's just been something on my mind that I really, really wanted to get out, and it feels good that I've finally been able to take the time to talk about it with you guys and really make it known. And I think this has been covered before, but it really helps me to just be able to get it out of my head and, express it in my own words. So, hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I mean, if you have watched this much of the video, if you haven't, I don't blame you. I wouldn't listen to me either. And I will see you in the next one.